money, 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 money. We are here at Money in the Bank. Our predictions, folks. Welcome, one and all, to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast as we dive into the most concise, in-depth predictions that you could possibly hope for WWE's Money in the Bank. I am, folks, the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil K.O.E., as we dive into the daily deluge of professional wrestling, and we find our way here at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. Please, folks, like, share, subscribe, Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. We are here to right a wrong. We're here to right an injustice. We are here to set things right. This is basically the quantum leap of the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, because we're going back and we are going to right the wrong of Chicken stealing the RWP Championship. So yes, I mean, this is basically the same thing as Quantum Leap. We are going to possibly, if Phil K.O.E. can capture the title, this might be the event that we need to really usher this world into a new era. And yes, Tony, thanks for this shot, because much like Atlas holding up the world, Phil K.O.E. holds up the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast with the strength of his shoulders alone. But do not worry, folks. I can carry this burden, and I will do it for you, RWP audience, KOE Nation, everybody watching at Big Bucket Entertainment. Like, share, subscribe to all of them. But yes, this is the one where the the wrongs will be righted again, and history will be set straight. And as I'm known to say, all that being said, as the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, the very definition of economic intercourse himself, Phil K.O.E., I will hand it off to my indomitable broadcast partners. First, my indomitable broadcast partner in collusion, Champ Chicken.
Thanks, Phil, for the great introduction. I think you had it right the original time. You said the rights will be, and then you got it mixed up, but it's okay. You know, Pelosi, or maybe the lag you have on your video. Maybe you got this Biden thing going on. I don't know. Call it what you will, but the only man to ever dethrone the two greatest Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champions ever at WrestleMania, no less, Chicken. Thanks for having me, fellas. Ready to retain and watch Phil cry.
WrestleMania light.
Okay. I'm here too. I guess nobody gives a shit about me, but whatever. Not a big deal. I'm Tony fucking G. Once again, like, share, subscribe. We're live, and we are here to predict Money in the Bank this Sunday, tomorrow night, about 6 o'clock Central Time. Follow along with us on the RWP. And folks, we got a unique one here tonight, so let's jump right into this. What do we got, fellas? What are you thinking? You excited for this one?
Well, I'm excited for the prospect of regaining my RWP championship and taking it off of that rapscallion ne'er-do-well Chicken who, through collusion and cheating and obstruction of extremeness, stole that champion like the rapscallion outlaw ne'er-do-well that he is. And so I am looking forward to that. Also, I'll be honest, yeah, the Universal Championship match does kind of compel me. What can I say? I'm a Bray mark. Sorry. Wash me in your judgment, Internet.
Fair enough.
Chicken, how about yourself? What are you looking forward to in this event?
Always like ladders. Come on. Like, anytime you do Money in the Bank matches, there's always some fun. It's always entertaining. Whether you like the outcome or not, it's always entertaining. So,
Tony G, how about yourself, sir?
The uniqueness of this, because as some of you may not know, this is a very unique Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We are doing this at the WWE headquarters. They're fighting through the entire building, floor by floor by floor by floor, until they ascend to the roof where the ladder is located and the briefcases are above the ring. And both the men's and women's matches are apparently happening simultaneously. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be it's gonna be a cluster for one, but it's gonna be interesting. So I'm excited to see how that works. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 matches. It looks like a couple in the pre-show, and 5, maybe 6, depending on how you want to rate the main events. Ladder matches, one match or separate since they're happening at the same time. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this works. So let's jump right in, which what I'm assuming is going to be on the pre-show. First and foremost, Cesaro and Jeff Hardy.
Champ Chicken, who you got on this one? Champion has to make usually some of the first.
Oh yeah, I'm
Uncomfortable
used to having to make those first uncomfortable picks as I had to last time when I won. So I'll continue with that. Let's see. With this one, obviously, you know, it should be an entertaining match. Everything that I know about these two and what little I've watched, I'm not huge into either of them. But Jeff Hardy, from what I know, and Cesaro, this should be a pretty athletic match for the most part. Pretty, I don't know. We'll see how technical it gets, but I got Hardy in this one. Hands down. I think he's got this.
If we had a fair and just world, Cesaro would win this match, but it's going to be Jeff Hardy. The man sells an amazing amount of t-shirts, and they're going to get as many t-shirts sold as they can before he swantoned his last bomb.
Yeah, you're right. Cesaro is in desperate need of a push, and he just keeps getting sandbagged into the mid card. Jeff Hardy, they've been building since he came back from injury. They've been doing these promo packages the last few weeks, and they're really hyping him up to. I don't know if they want to do another run with him before he hangs it up, but it's definitely going to be Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, if Cesaro wins this match, then I don't know anything about professional wrestling. Like you,
well, I mean, we knew that.
That's a given. I mean.
Oh,
yeah,
well, you know,
that.
The 6-time champion, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, what do I know about wrestling?
Yeah.
Who did I ever beat? Oh, wait, Chicken.
Once.
Wrestling.
Once. And you lost once. But anyway.
Oh, that was. Again,
I digress.
That was
digress.
Collusion,
That was collusion.
Wellery.
Okay.
R-Truth versus MVP. Right. Can I just take this one?
Sure.
Go for it.
Going to be MVP. Why would they bring him back? Like they've got a big faction plan for him where he's going to be a head of a faction, and it's obviously going to be MVP. That's my take.
I disagree. I think it's going to be R-Truth. He's way more over with the fans. Not that there's going to be any there, but I don't know. I think MVP can suffer a loss and be a manager. I don't think it matters if he wins or loses. I think R-Truth.
Yeah, I'm going R-Truth as well. Just because you bring an MVP back doesn't necessarily mean you have to give him the nod. We saw what happened with Edge on Edge's return. You don't always have to give the nod, especially in a pay-per-view setting. But fans will be excited to see MVP back. That's back in my day. I'm kind of excited to see MVP back.
Well, I will say, MVP, this is the one time in your entire career that I have been cheering for you more than at any other point, motherfucker. Pull through for me.
Boy, I'm a little impressed. I didn't think Phil was going to go the MVP route. Good for you. Good for you, Phil.
Again, I think there's some rumblings of him starting a faction here soon, and I think, I mean, man, how is R-Truth's character going to recover from a loss, man? There's just no way. I mean, R-Truth can eat a pin, and it's not going to be a big deal. So
they both can. Let's face it. Next up, we have got a cluster. It's a cluster. So is my screen, apparently. I'm technical difficulties now because I'm so good at this.
I'll let you two take this first because I got a weird pick.
Oh,
I
know you had it.
There you go.
The Rock and Roll Express is gonna run it. No, Jesus.
No, okay, you can stop right there. No, we're not getting into the Rock and Roll Express. They're happily 80-year-old and in the NWA. So what we've got here is the New Day defending. Oh, this is interesting. New Day defending their SmackDown tag titles against Miz and Morrison, Forgotten Sons, and Lucha House Party. Fatal 4-way tag team match. What do you guys think?
So, like, New Day just got it. But like, I don't know, this is like underwear with the tag team championship from SmackDown. They just keeps just jumping all over the place. So this is an interesting one because it could potentially change again tonight. They just seem to not care about these tag team titles, but
They don't.
they're really high on Forgotten Sons. I personally, I'm torn. It's either New Day retains or Forgotten Sons takes it. I don't know. They keep changing it, but I'm gonna stick with New Day being pay-per-view. I think we get a lot of hopeful people begging on Forgotten Sons and hoping they'll take it. They'll be disappointed that'll keep them hooked, and you see a little bit of future build coming there.
I love the Forgotten Sons here. I like the way they made their debut, but they just made their debut, so it's definitely not going to be Lucha House Party, and I don't think they're going to put them back on Miz and Morrison here. Like you said, they just don't seem to care about these belts, but I like New Day to retain, just given that they got them in such a weird way, and why put them on them that quickly to take them off that. So yeah, New Day to retain.
I will say Lucha House Party. Sorry, none of you have any hope in life. Like, it's just as long as you're signed to a WWE contract, you will be jobbers extraordinaires. That's real French there, folks. I'm sure WWE wants to put the tag team titles back on Miz and Morrison after Miz caused a giant fucking kerfuffle showing up to work sick. I'm really sure they want to reward that behavior. And they just put the belt on the New Day, which means it's about time to take it off of them. So I'm going Forgotten Sons. Yep. Yep. And as much as you hate to say, there's just as much thought into my booking as there is into yours. I mean, like,
that's fair.
There could be a meeting right now, like, all right, I think New Day is going to win this match. Vince just kind of blinks wrong for a second. You know what? I changed my mind. I think Forgotten Sons. So yeah, that could. But no, I think they just put the belt on the New Day, so it's about time to take it off of them. So Forgotten Sons. Yep.
Yeah. I can't really disagree with that logic, Phil. That's solid.
I mean,
all right. We got Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's title against Tamina. I don't know. I don't see any title change here. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like it's SummerSlam or bust before they even think about taking the title off Bayley at this point, because she won the belt last year at Money in the Bank, so she's at a year now. So I think they're going to wait. I'm hoping for the Sasha Bayley match at SummerSlam, and I don't think that makes any sense to take it off of her here. Bayley to retain. I
agree. What you're putting the champ up against, arguably one of the worst wrestlers. Sorry. Like, let's be honest here. I don't know. I don't even want to waste time on the conversation. Bayley retains.
Fair.
I was about to say, if I was going to go first, I was going to say, who do you have and why is it Bayley?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I do think to try and keep Tamina with just a little bit of heat, so she doesn't just job flatter than a plate of piss, I think she's going to end up, there's going to be some Sasha Banks interference. So that's going to be my one. Yeah. I know.
You sure you don't want to go Sasha interferes and costs her the title?
No. Sasha's going to interfere, keep the title on Bayley, and I think, Sasha versus Bayley going into SummerSlam, that's a program folks want to see. But we'll see what happens with the match that happens later that evening. But moving on down the line, Tony, what do we got next on the card?
All right, so next up, we've got Braun Strowman defending his newly crowned Universal Championship from WrestleMania when he beat Goldberg against Bray Wyatt. This is an interesting one. What do you think, champ?
Braun Strowman, and so this is not the Fiend. This is also obviously the Mr. Rogers version of the Fiend.
Yep.
It does make a interesting. I don't know. We'll see what it. I got Braun on this one. Like I wanted to like look into Bray Wyatt winning this, and I just don't see it. They took all this time getting Strowman to where he is. Bray Wyatt and The Fiend are going to be who they are, no matter what title they're fighting for. I think we need more out of Strowman and keep building that up. And yeah, I don't know. I think there's more to come with this. I don't think it's time to take the strap off him just yet.
I got to agree a bit. I think revisionists looking back on it, they really regret putting the belt on Goldberg, because after that happened, everything happens within the world, and it just didn't really work out. And then the match with Roman got thrown in the toilet. Braun had to come in at the end. So is this their way to kind of rewrite history and get the belt back on Bray Wyatt and pretend like the Goldberg and the Braun run didn't even happen? Is that what they're doing here? I don't think so. I mean, a bit eventually, maybe, but not here. I think they're going to give him at least one successful title defense, and I think that's why it's Mr. Rogers Wyatt, not The Fiend. I think he can eat the pin, and then The Fiend can get a little bit of revenge after the match, maybe take it off of him at SummerSlam, because they want to get the belt back on him for sure at some point, but it's not going to be tomorrow night.
I'm going to disagree with both of you.
Wow.
Goldberg came in as champion, and in his contract, he stated, I am contractually obligated to beat The Fiend for the title, and then I will drop the strap to Roman Reigns. So he was contractually obligated for 2 matches, and it completely steamrolled through the momentum that The Fiend had going. And Goldberg's too expensive. We're now at a point where we need to cut back on expenses in wrestling. And I think they're literally going to just try to start back up the Bray Wyatt storyline that they had. So when Roman does come back, he's got a big bad to defeat. Braun Strowman is a placeholder champion, and that is all. He's there because he's the only guy that was big enough that Goldberg says, I think he's big enough to the point where it'll be at least somewhat legitimate that he beat me. And that's the only reason he was given the Universal Championship. So I see them taking the belt off of him and getting it right back onto one of their biggest merch sellers in modern company history, The Fiend. So thanks, guys. I appreciate the free point you handed me there.
I think eventually it's going to, and I think they'll do it quickly, but I don't see Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt.
Oh, because they've taken such good care of Braun this last year and a half that they just can't afford to have him eat a pin. I mean, goddamn.
Oh, yeah, they took such care of the Fiend when they had him lose the Hell in a Cell match.
He lost to Sammy fucking Zayn
job out
a
to
month and a half ago.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
They really protected Bray Wyatt. Oh, and over all the years, they've really protected Bray Wyatt.
Nobody can get past the Goldberg contract.
Gentlemen, let's act like the former champions you are. Oh, wait, you are.
Oh,
okay.
The future champion I am, sir. But no, Tony, I'm sorry. Like, the idea that we need to protect Braun Strowman after they've spent a year and a half burying this poor son of a bitch, I'm sorry. That's kind of absurd to me, because there's just no way.
I don't think it's protecting Braun. I think they're protecting the belt in this case. They're trying to add a little bit of legitimacy to the fact that Goldberg won it for no reason, dropped it immediately. So if you have another guy win it and drop it immediately, it devalues the title. So I think that's what they're doing here. I think you're going to see some chicanery in the end. The Fiend shows up and somehow that causes a DQ. I don't know. Something wacky is going to happen that causes Braun to retain, because that's what they do with Bray Wyatt.
I get what you're saying, but Bray's such a big draw, and he's one of the biggest merch sellers that I just don't see them doing that. They already buried him enough with Goldberg, and the fans hated it. So I think there's going to be a lot of people who are just going to hate it if Braun Strowman somehow power slams his way to a victory here, especially like even Bray Wyatt Mr. Rogers Wyatt, was unbelievably dominant in the one match he had. And I've heard there's going to be a new twist to
It was
that
against
character.
Miz.
Yes, but I'm sorry. He's the biggest. Like, I could see halfway through the match, he just poof, he teleports, and now he's the Fiend. And at that point, when the Fiend shows up, you know Braun's title reign's fucked. So.
All right. Well, I like it. We got a little bit of discrepancy here. So far, myself and Chicken are exactly
pretty much down the line. Yeah,
same. Yes, we are.
Phil is just picking everything I'm not. So this could get interesting.
No, I'll be honest with you. That one I've just been like, no, they got to put it on Bray. No, I picked Bailey with you. What the fuck? Like, no, even I got enough. That's like everybody.
That's a dub pick.
Yeah, everybody's going with Bailey on that one. Now,
how about this one, gents? This one I'm actually excited for, even though this is a match that we've seen a bunch of times over the last few years. Seth Rollins taking on Drew McIntyre, the champ, for the world title. Drew's first big match after beating Brock at WrestleMania. Here we go. Seth Rollins, the former champ himself, they have a good history in the ring together. I like the potential here. What do you guys think?
I'll take the first one here. Guys, I'm just curious. Who do you have and why is it Drew McIntyre?
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry. You can't take the belt off of him after he just squashed Brock. Otherwise, it's just everything that you built up for WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, which, oh my God, Tony, we were there to see the crowning of the McIntyre era.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't take the belt off of him here. No, it's got to be McIntyre.
No, absolutely. I can't fathom any circumstance or reasoning where they would put the belt back on Seth Rollins, and especially now with no crowds. Just think how big of a punch in the sack it would be to Drew McIntyre to have him win the Royal Rumble, to go on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania in front of nobody, win the belt in front of nobody, and then lose the belt in front of nobody, and never even get that moment as champ in front of a big live crowd.
You'll be able to ask Braun Strowman what that was like after tomorrow night.
We'll see. Champ to champ between Strowman and McIntyre. I think both retain just like I do. So.
Well, and that's why you're a one-time paper champ that had to win through collusion, Chicken. That's,
Wow.
We'll see how these impeachment proceedings
I will have my
forward.
day in court.
When you're impeached and we can strike your championship from the record or at least put an asterisk next to it, Chicken. Yes.
An asterisk.
This is
well, asterisk. I mean.
All right. So what do we got?
So let's get into it, because the only matches left are, well, the two matches happening at the same time, but we'll do the women's first. We've got Carmella, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Asuka, Dana Brooke, and Lacey Evans, all vying for the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Typically they try to mix it up between Raw and SmackDown, who wins the briefcase the following year, the previous year. But I think all bets are off on this one. I don't really think you can look at history as an indicator of where they want to go. Heel, face, Raw, SmackDown. I don't think it matters because of these unique circumstances. So this one's going to be interesting. I'm pretty excited to see this match. There's a handful of gals in this match I would not even remotely consider picking. I really think there's only a couple favorites. But who do you guys like? And on this one, on the women's and the men's, we will be picking our choice to win, who we like as our favorite. That'll be worth the 1 point. And then we will pick a dark horse worth half a point. So should our dark horse win, we get a half a point. This is going to help alleviate any tiebreaker nonsense, and we will enjoy it that way. So what do you guys think on this one?
I'll jump in. I think
go ahead.
The one that makes the most sense would be Shayna. I like, she's the biggest potential threat, I think, long term, and the most you could do with. Outside of that, I'd say dark horse, I would go Lacey Evans. The rest of them, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't see anything except for I always say her name wrong, Asuka or whatever. She would be fun to see win it. Just because, yeah, you could build a lot of drama around that one and really move forward, chasing both champs around. Like that'd be kind of interesting to see. But I don't know. I wanted to pick her as my dark horse, but no, I'll have Shayna Baszler and then Lacey Evans as my half point pick.
I'm with you. I think Shayna Baszler makes the most sense out of anybody to win this match. I'm still kind of shell shocked the way they handled her match with Becky at WrestleMania. I didn't expect Becky to retain, so that shocks me. You know, it ended up costing me the belt. Whatever. Not like I'm sour grapes or anything, but no, I think they're trying to get the heat back. So I think she's got to walk out with the briefcase. I think it's the only smart move. But if it's not going to be Shayna, it 110% has to be Asuka, because she's the only other one in this match that the fans can get behind and actually looks like she poses a legitimate threat to a champion. She was tag team champion for a long time. She's a draw. She's a proven draw. The crowd gets behind her, face or not, heel or not. I'd love to see Asuka win this. So she's my dark horse.
Guys, afraid you're both wrong here. Money in the Bank is ready for Asuka. Yes, Asuka is going to win Money in the Bank this year. Now, my dark horse, my potential, the one that I was torn on, and I know you're both going to disagree with this, but my dark horse is the returning and definitely in need of a heel prop to help her push herself forward, Nia Jax.
Okay.
That no one wants to see her win the thing, which is the perfect heel reaction. So, but no, Asuka's been such a reliable workhorse throughout this whole COVID thing. I see this as being a little, thank you, Asuka. So that's my take on it.
I can see where you're going with that. I like what you're thinking, and yeah, that would be a good prop for her. I can see that. I'm not changing my pick, but I can definitely see where you're going with that. I like it. All right, so boys, here we go. Mainest of main event time. Let me get to the picture eventually. This one, again, this is happening simultaneously with the women's. The men's Money in the Bank match. This is an interesting field. We've got Otis. We've got Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, and King Baron Corbin. Now, on paper, this match alone has some really intriguing potential. In a Money in the Bank match, this has a whole hell of a lot of potential. In a fight through the building, up the building, onto the roof, Money in the Bank match, this could be a cinematic clusterfuck of epic proportions that we'll never forget. And I'm kind of leaning that way. I don't know that it's going to be a cinematic match. I kind of hope it's not, but we will see how this pans out. So, again, we're going to pick our favorite, and we will pick a dark horse. And then there's going to be the added point, who gets dumped off the building, because they've kind of been talking about it. Somebody's fallen off of this thing. It's going to be in this match. It's got to be at the end of the show. It's got to be one of the guys from the briefcase match. One of these 6 guys is falling off the roof of the building. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be ridiculous. So, what do you guys think of this match, and who do you like?
God, I guess I'll go first here. With the addition of AJ Styles throws a wrench in my original thoughts. It's like Aleister Black, no, AJ Styles, what? It's oh man.
I feel you.
It's tough. It really is. I originally, looking at this, several days ago, I was like, nah, they wouldn't change all this work on Aleister Black. They wouldn't change it. And then it's like, no, AJ's the future heel. Like he's gonna be the heel. Like, come on. You talk about selling shirts and selling merch.
Daniel Bryan for a big promo leading into this match.
Yes.
And then Corbin closed out the show last night on SmackDown, look strong. So there's a lot of guys I could pick one of them, honestly.
I'm just gonna go ahead and call my 3 here. AJ takes it. I got Black.
Okay.
Black's my half point. And I'm torn between Corbin or Owen going through. Just because I like dethroning kings. We'll say Corbin goes through.
Well, let me know when you get around to that, chicken. All right, I'll go ahead here, guys. Okay, chicken, I am going to agree with you. I think the Money in the Bank winner, we don't want none. We don't want none. 2019 Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, or no, 2018 Revolutionary Wrestling, how the time flies, folks. 2018 Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast winner, Wrestler of the Year, AJ Styles, and 2018 Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast Match of the Year, and 2019 Match of the Year runner-up, AJ Styles, is going to be your Money in the Bank winner because it is a beautiful heel prop. And then here's my dark horse, and none of you are going to agree with this, and you're all, what? The flying fuck. Otis.
No.
No.
You're
Otis.
shitting me.
Yep, he's my dark horse. Now, it doesn't matter because AJ's going to win.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
now
good
here's the reason he's dark horse, but also my prediction for who goes off the building. I don't think it's going to be King Corbin because I see him doing something way funnier. Like he walks outside the building and he like brings out some sort of like telehandler or man lift and it starts like lifting it up towards the roof and then it like just like dies halfway up and he's just like stuck there and he's like yelling at like repairman and like, what the, come on, I need to get up there. And like, yes, that's what I see him doing most of the match until at the very end, he just finally gets it going, jumps up on the roof and stops somebody from getting the briefcase.
I can see that.
That would be perfect.
I could see that.
I could see Otis taking the dive off the building. But really, I see the dive going to Rey Mysterio as a way to kind of write him off. He's been wanting to retire for a long time, and pitching him off the frickin' Titan Towers is a pretty damn good way to retire the guy. So that's how. So I see that, but yeah, it's going to be AJ. My backup's going to be Otis, and I'm going to stick with it. Ray's going to be the one to take the throw.
Okay,
And it'll probably be King Corbin that does it. I was the man who retired Kurt Angle and retired Rey Mysterio.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it's weird because I was thinking kind of like Chicken, like Corbin, because maybe you have like Elias pop up after Elias got the shit kicked out of him. And he tosses Corbin off. Costs him the match. But then I'm like, it'd be perfect for Rey. Like you said, he wants to retire. You could do it this way. Or why not? Because it's so easy to get a stunt double Rey if you want to go that route because of the mask. I'm torn with that now, but I could even see it being Daniel Bryan. He wants to kind of cut back on the work schedule. I don't think it's going to be AJ Styles that falls. You can't bury him at WrestleMania, have him come back, and then fall off of a fucking building. I mean,
and then have him come back.
Have him come back again. Like you bury him off a building. What will it take to kill this man? I get it. It writes itself.
He's the Super Dave of pro wrestling.
Yeah, I don't see Otis being the one to fall off or Black. You know what? I'm going to go with Corbin to fall off the building. I like my original thought. Elias dumps him off. Something like that. I got to go with that. I'd love to see it another way, but I think that makes the most sense. My dark horse is actually going to be AJ Styles because I can't not pick AJ Styles. The promo he had on Raw was brilliant. I think it makes a ton of sense. They're keeping him a heel. It's a great prop for him as a heel, and he's a proven champion. He's been a 2-time world champion. Why not give him the briefcase that all but guarantees him a 3rd title run? I think it makes perfect sense to give him the briefcase. He'd be great with it. But the winner of the Money in the Bank match is going to be Aleister Black, because he is the future. He absolutely, the push that he's been given, he has to win this thing. Like, it makes too much sense. He's perfect in line for this thing. It's a good prop for him because he doesn't do a lot of talking. What talking he does is very Ultimate Warrior, dark, brooding, scary, makes not a lot of sense. When he walks out to the ring, he just kind of looks terrifying. He can carry a briefcase. I think it's a perfect pairing. Aleister Black with the briefcase, and he eventually cashes in. He eventually becomes champion. This is a perfect way to get him in the world title picture. Aleister Black wins the Men's Money in the Bank 2020. He is my number one pick. All that being said,
Hey, that's
what
my
do you
line,
think
fucker.
about these matches? What do you think about these matches happening simultaneously? Is there going to be a point? Obviously, they're going to intermingle quite a bit, but is anybody going to cost anybody else the match from the other match? Like, is a woman going to interfere in the men's squabble? I think there's so many elements here. It's really intriguing.
I thought if Shayna Baszler, or not Shayna Baszler, if Sonya Deville would have been in the women's Money in the Bank match, then my prediction would have been completely different, and I would have said it's Sonya Deville that throws Otis off. That would have been my big prediction if Sonya was actually in the match, but she's not. So I'm gonna stick, and I'm just keeping Otis as just kind of a back dark horse pick and chicken. It's gonna be funny if you and I are tied in this event, come to the main event. I'm gonna be like, Otis, you get your fucking big ass up that ladder, motherfucker! Get the fuck up there, AJ. You stay the fuck away. Fuck you, AJ. Get away from that ladder. So yeah, if we're like totally tied, this is gonna be an interesting event, but. I've picked enough different picks from all y'all that I think
it's either going to be Phil running away with it or me and Tony tied up until the end.
Yep. It's gonna be high drama regardless, folks. So this is gonna be a fun event. But now, Tony, don't you be stealing my line, fucker. As I'm known to say around here. All that being said, folks, this has been our preview and prediction for Money in the Bank. Like, share, subscribe to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. Like, share, subscribe to Big Bucket Entertainment. Like, share, subscribe to KOE Nation. Like, share, subscribe to everywhere you get your KOE and RWP content, and keep it right here at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast as we go forward to Money in the Bank, where I will defeat this rapscallion ne'er-do-well chicken and reclaim the RWP Championship for all that is good, righteous, virtuous, and just in this world. I am devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil K.O.E., signing off and handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partners as I hold up this very broadcast like Atlas himself with it on my shoulder. Take it, folks.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a thing.
This is the thing. Look forward to a fun weekend. Not only we'll probably have some stuff on other show too. I got to do my shameless plug once in a while. Big Bucket Entertainment. We'll start talking a little bit more UFC after this weekend as sports are back. Yay! So we got fights, we got wrestling. Fun weekend. Look forward to retaining, fellas. Appreciate you having me on as always. Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Yep, I feel a whole lot of luck is in favor. I'm liking your picks a lot, and now I like my main event pick a lot less. But again, like, share, subscribe, everybody. Check us out tomorrow night, and let's have a good pay-per-view. And thanks for joining us. We will see you there.
I got a call, guys. Hey, Vlad, what's up?
Oh, wait a minute.
Thanks for showing.
Proof of collusion. We have collusion proof here, folks. Tony.
My God, Phil, you might be onto something here.
We might need to
you
be
might
launching
be onto
this,
something.
We might need to launch this
Okay,
investigation
I'm on board.
here,
I'm
Tony.
on board.
All right. Well, I mean, Tony, since it's just you and me now on the live stream, I think it's time to announce something to our audience. I think it's
Okay.
I have found my special prosecutor to investigate chicken for collusion. My own special counsel, our own Robert Mueller, someone that's completely going to be down the line, going to be fair, has no self-interest in this at all. The special prosecutor, the special counsel that will be investigating chicken for his impeachment is none other than Tony fucking G. Right here, folks. He will be, yes, I know. So now,
I'm humbled. I'm humbled and honored.
Down the line, fair, no self-interest, no conflicts of interest, special prosecutor. We totally look forward to your findings and as to whether Chicken's sham of a title run shall uphold against all that is true, just, and right in this world, Tony. So I just wanted to announce this one last thing to our audience since we had them here, and that rapscallion ne'er-do-well Chicken is no longer here.
Fair enough. I will definitely dive deep into this, and I will come up with the truth, because the truth always prevails. Thank you, folks. Like, share, subscribe.
Hey, what I missed, guys? What I missed?
No,
nothing.
Actually,
we're just signing off.
Actually,
great.
Now that you're here, it is time to announce to you that the special counsel, the special prosecutor in your impeachment inquiry has been named. Our own Robert Mueller, if you will. And he is someone that's going to be completely fair, completely down the line, no self-interest and no conflict of interest at all. Our special prosecutor in charge of impeaching you is none other than our own Tony fucking G. So yes, Tony, be sure to let us know what your findings bring upon us.
So now I have to deal not only with little Pelosi KOE down there, but now I have Shifty G on top of that. Jesus.
Wow.
Tony Mueller. I don't know. There's a lot of good jokes.
Hey, idle off you tomorrow.
Luckily, Tony, luckily we won't have to worry about this rapscallion after tomorrow because my predictions and picks are so amazingly accurate. You're all going to be like, Phil, you fucking wrestling Nostradamus. Please, just what are your picks for the stock market, man? Like, this is amazing prediction powers. So,
that's how I got here. Yep.
And so. I'm also a pretty modest son of a bitch too. I'm also the most modest guy on the RWP, folks. So.
More modest than you, obviously. All that being said, Phil, let's cap this thing off, and we will see you guys tomorrow night. Let's watch some wrestling. Let's have some fun and bring that title home, baby.
It's the show so nice we had to outro it twice. Folks, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for coming. We'll catch you around, folks.